Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I say there's been a lot going on in the last 2.5 weeks, and a lot more gonna go on. But we got some big things to take away from today, and we'll be talking about it. Let's see, Pam Bondi. She's been approved, and she's hitting the ground running. And she's a of local, state and local officials who obstruct ICE, and also that USAID, and I put an S on the end anyway, has approved and sent out over $100 million, probably a lot more than that, to media companies all around the world, and big names like New York Times and Politico. And no more men and women's sports, and that's just the start. I'm going to play some videos. You see my little memes up there. And there's Melania behind Donald Trump. Women got your back, Donald. And so anyway, let me play these videos. We'll see how things roll in the studio and go from there once I cut my mic off.
Having Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
Not enough for America's future that some participate and others don't. We have been given an extraordinary blessing, and at this moment in time, our country needs us. And we need people like George Soros, who is fearless and willing to step up when it counts. So please join me in welcoming George Soros.
It is the first time that I feel that I need to stand up and do something really and become really engaged in the electoral process in this country.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
I got my little Hillary going as fast as she can, pumping away on the brakes. I mean, on those pedals. But anyway, I hope everyone's doing well tonight, and hope the video played clear. Let me see who's come to see me tonight. I appreciate everyone that's here. Hi, Sissy, how you doing? Jet lag. Todd, how you doing? Debbie, Tracy, Wayne, give Mountain Man a thumbs up. Robin's here. Andrew, Margaret. Haha, nice to see you, Margaret. Flannel Cheese, Debbie. Nice to see you. Television shows, Benjamin. Yeah, is Kash going to get approved? Is Kash going to pass? That's the thing. We had Fetterman. Fetterman is the only Democrat to jump over. She got 54 votes. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Kash Patel. Remember, John Fetterman is a freshman senator. They they hadn't really had a chance to really infect him. Here we go. I got this one ready. From now on, money laundering will be called foreign aid. Looks like Klaus Schwab. What's this one? Do y'all see this? Do y'all think this is true? Obama's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, consultant on international development, 1979 to 1980. My word. How many times have I said worms in a clump of dirt? They're like worms in a clump of dirt. What did Elon say? Like a bowl of worms. They're like a bowl of worms. That's close enough for my example of what they were. So, anyway, we got all this stuff going on. Did you see Pam Bondi's press conference? She had some of the idiotic questions she was asked, and she did very well. She swatted them away easily enough. Island Girl, how you doing? Yeah, we know who's running USAIDs. I guess that's how you spell it. I don't know. Let me get some of these videos. What do you make it? They're getting violent, okay? They're proposing violence. And but the memes are flying. Here's a good little meme for them. You remember Javier Milei, right? Somebody superimposed Mr. T's face on Javier Milei's video.
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera.
But anyway, yeah, they're putting out blatant threats to people, and let's see. Chuck the Schmuck Schumer was out there mouthing off. Here's a video of him with, I think this is when Jennings kind of gets a laugh at how he's.
We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Gretchen.
Yes,
So,
they need the Democrats need a real.
He's even getting some of the cronies on CNN to laugh along with him. How stupid Schumer looks. But here's a. I think this is a meme of what this one was mouthing off to take it in the streets and do all this stuff and that stuff.
Elon Musk is a Nazi nutball baby. A godless, lawless billionaire who no one elected Elon.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you know.
So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter.
Yeah, you and your little friend on Twitter. What a bunch of idiots. What a bunch of idiots. I got one clip that I had for a long time. But anyway, I'll play this one. What do you think this woman's saying? And look at her chats. Look at her chats. if you can read them. Who needs a visit by the FBI, the real FBI?
For the love of God, somebody, please, anybody, just do it. For humanity, just do it. We support you. Just do it. For the love of God, somebody, please, anybody, just do it. For humanity, just do it. We support you. Just do it. For the love of God, somebody, please, anybody, just do it. For humanity, just
scrolling and scrolling, all these chats agreeing and making threats and stuff. Well, we're going to see how that all turns out for them. If they want to FAFO, right? And I appreciate everybody that's watching on Rumble because I am streaming simultaneously. I put this on my thumbnail at Rumble because I didn't have a thumbnail ready. So I put this picture up. This looks like, to me, one of the bus companies that Kamala was using to get people to go to her rallies. She was busing people all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, up to northern states to make it look like people were there. But anyway, I think somebody put that Photoshop the ICE on there. But anyway, it did in a pinch for a thumbnail. And I thank everybody who's watching live and everybody who is watches after the live stream. But anyway, this is the kind of stuff they put out. And people are going to get a visit, okay, for doing this kind of stuff. Who are these little boys and why are they in charge of our money? What kind of foolishness, what kind of idiot would come up with that? They're not in charge of anyone's money. They're finding out who is getting bribes, who's getting kickbacks. I got a clip of Trump asking about kickbacks. And they're whipping people up into some kind of frenzy that they're going to lose their Social Security. Here, like this guy right here. Let me see if I got him in my studio. A little wiseacre. I might have to go out and get it. I didn't even know I don't recognize him as a senator. Do you all know which state? Well, let me find that video. Which state this goober is from? Let me see. Oh, I got a new oh, yeah. I got a few things I got to put up. I got a new section of my studio. Boy, I tell you, must be artificial intelligence running this stuff. I don't know. But I got a report from Rachel Mad Cow. Mitch McConnell fell down. What in the world? I can't find that little fellow. Andrew McCabe being scared. Where is he? Here he is. Andrew McCabe. He's a skeered, as we say in the mountains. He's a skeered. He ought to be a skeered. He's one of the first ones that got fired by Trump.
Totally unprecedented. FBI rank and file agents and analysts who make up the vast majority of the field offices who do the work of investigating these cases, of executing search warrants, of executing arrest warrants, doing surveillance, electronic surveillance, whatever it might be. Those people are never touched by the political winds that blow through every 4 years, nor should they be. They, as you said, they don't pick their work. They're assigned to the work that they do. The work they do is lawful. It's within FBI policies, and not doing the work is not really an option for them, right? They come to the FBI. Most of them come intending to stay for the entirety of their careers, 20 years or more, 20 years on the agent side, a little bit more for the support side. And so to be targeted in this way for termination potentially or retribution simply for doing their jobs on a major national security case is incomprehensible to them or anybody that knows the organization. I've talked to more FBI people in the last 4 days than I did in the prior 4 years. As John has described it accurately, it is a place in utter disarray right now. People are worried about, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to support my family? If I lose, if you're anywhere in the middle of that career, not close to retirement, if you get fired, you're done. That's the end of your reputation, your ability to get a new job. You lose your pay, you lose your chance at a pension, you lose your health insurance. This is a moment of terror for these people. It is absolutely disgraceful that they are being put through this in the middle of some political gamesmanship or active retribution. They don't deserve to be treated this way. It's unlawful, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, BS, buddy. BS. Okay, look what they put the nation through, okay? What they put the nation through. And that was unlawful. RICO can apply to these characters, okay, if it was a conspiracy to deprive Americans of their civil rights under the color of law. They can be subject to a RICO investigation. You want to talk about people doing something lawful? These 3, quote, little boys or 4 little boys, they're the ones who are operating lawfully and are getting put out there and put in danger, okay? Not your goober friends at the FBI. And here's what somebody put up. Who are these 4 little boys right here? Hey, we'll put this right up there. Here we go. Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton, 20, 21, 18, 25. James Monroe, James Madison. How about that? That was some good thinking there. I think that's what I put on my thumbnail. Who are these little boys? So, yeah, it's all in the eye of the beholder, I guess, who thinks they're in trouble, who's going to get in trouble. And, one of the questions they asked was are you going to go to the correspondence dinner? Because they got a comedian that said once Trump was like a toddler with his pants pulled down. What an idiotic question. And I wish you'd have said, well, we're thinking about the old media can have a dinner if they want. The old media. Call them the old media. And we might do a new media correspondence dinner, a new media. What do you think is going to get ratings? What do you think is going to get people to watch? If you have a correspondence dinner with Dan Bongino, Alex Jones, what's that the other guy's name? Joe Rogan. Name them. And have a big dinner and people roasting each other and having fun, talking about this stuff we're all discovering. Many of us already knew ahead of time because the old media wouldn't tell our friends we're at odds with people. Here, I like this meme here. IRS, FBI, ATF, MSM, the Fed. Me with my memes. Stand there like a baseball bat, whop you with my memes. But anyway. So I'm going to take this picture of Obama's mother down. I don't know if it's even, I haven't verified. So let's see. Who else come in while I've been babbling? So, hi, Yvonne. How you doing? Island girl. Nice to see you. Gary. Ha ha. Melinda's out. Why you said hi, Melinda? Nice to see you, Darla. Nice to see you. Anybody snuck in I didn't get, I apologize. Yeah, everybody's had to go out and look for jobs. Nothing's been a guarantee for life except government jobs and being part of the dependent class, victimhood. And they pass it on to their kids and show them how to fill out applications and then waste their lives sitting on their buttocks. How about this one? I just want to be as happy as the residents of Martha's Vineyard when they're kicking immigrants off their island. See how happy she is. Goodbye. Have a nice life. KNS Cleanup. How you doing, Angela? How you doing? So, yeah, Trump really had a good day. Yesterday with the talk about Gaza, we'll get into that, but also him signing the keeping men out of women's sports. What a wonderful ceremony that was. Here's a picture of him. Maybe I should have used that for my thumbnail. I don't know. I might change my thumbnail from what I have up. I don't know. It's just as well, whatever it is. But you had all those little girls there. What a big moment. And the optics were great for that. And since I'm showing something nice like that, I'll play. She's a little, starts off a little rough around the edges, but a normal, nice girl talking on TikTok instead of some psycho using filthy language every other word.
We have to talk because you're essentially pissing me off. The thousands of you flooding the streets, demanding illegals get some sort of free pass. You do understand that every country has borders, laws, and consequences, right? Because you look ridiculous protesting in America while waving the flag of another country. There's not a single American flag in those crowds except for the ones that you were burning. You are burning the flag of a country that you or your family illegally entered and you want to stay in. But you're waving the flag of the country you fled from and don't want to get deported back to. Shouting Viva Mexico but don't want to Viva in Mexico. Go figure. You guys have been spoiled for years. Gallivanting across the border, essentially a warm welcome, free food, free housing, free healthcare, and in return, while lacking gratitude, you shut down our highways, demand open borders, and burn our flag. This is like the equivalent to an uninvited guest that shows up at your house, eats all your food, and then punches you in the face on the way out the door, except you guys aren't actually leaving. America has immigration laws, and just like every other nation, we will enforce those laws. It's not outlandish to expect people to follow the same legal process that millions of immigrants before them respected, and if you can't, there's a door. So there's a nice young lady. Isn't that much better than what we've been watching on TikTok? Especially that one I just played. Just do it. Just do it. You know, what a pack of sickos. And I say be checking their names, checking them twice. Hillary is poking her head up. What did they say? Did you all hear about how much Chelsea supposedly got from USAID? Chelsea Clinton? I mean, it was like 80 million. Am I wrong? From what I heard? And people you haven't heard a peep out of are starting to come out of the woodwork. Can you say nervous? Can you say nervous? Here's Letitia James. I don't know. We might have to do a bingo card on which one of these local officials or AGs or prosecutors or mayors, which ones are going to start getting locked up. But New York Attorney General tells hospitals to continue gender-affirming care for minors.
Regardless of the availability of federal funding, we write to further remind you of your obligations to comply with New York state laws. You know, medical experimentation is what I call it when you're doing it on a child. Okay? Should be some very grim punishment for that. But anyway, withholding the availability of services. So anyway, let me play. This is a video. Let me play it.
Regardless of the availability of federal funding, we write to further remind you of your obligation to comply with New York state law. So it sounds like she's picking and choosing which federal laws to comply with here. What do you think about this, Riley?
Yeah, I think your analysis is correct. When you have an attorney general tell her entire state to not comply with federal law, she is no longer acting as an attorney general. Let's call it what it is. She is an activist at that point, which I don't think this comes as a surprise, considering how she treated President Trump and other issues, of course, over her tenure. But this just shows me that November 5th taught the Democratic Party nothing. The majority of Americans wholeheartedly do not support the gender transitioning of minors. That was made very, very clear at the ballot box. So to continue on with this messaging, to continue to quite honestly, in this case, violate federal law, I believe it shows either their ignorance, maybe their apathy, maybe fighting for a system that rewards those who move to tear it down. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's clear nonetheless that November 5th taught the Democratic Party nothing.
Well, for those of you who didn't get in right when I first started, I said, you know, among the many things that are happening that's big is that Pam Bondi authorized investigations and prosecutions of mayors and local officials that are violating federal law and obstructing ICE and things like that. So we'll see which way this ball bounces. And, Letitia James is pushing that envelope, wouldn't you say? I certainly say so. You know, we've had, where is it? We had an upsurge, a big upsurge in young men enrolling in the Army, okay, signing up. Where is that? Well, I might not have a picture, but I tell you, I don't. This is the kind of stuff having preference has driven down people from going into the service. Let me play this kid for you here. Let me put him over here. I don't know where I'm gonna put him. I'll put him right in the middle. Here. Imagine this living in your barracks. But anyway, here we go.
Hey, so I just went in a military building. These bitches just told me to go in this building, and they were like, okay, get your dental stuff done, and the thing opens at 8. And so I showed up like half an hour early, and this scary ass drill sergeant looking guy, he came up to me and he was like, go get a fucking haircut. Don't come back in this fucking building until you get a haircut. I was like, okay, yes, sir. And he grabbed this part of my uniform and was like, when you're in this uniform, you need to abide by the standards in AR 670-1. I was like, yes, sir. He was like, go get a haircut right now and don't come back in this building until you get a haircut. I was like, okay. So I am on my way to get a haircut because that was scary as fuck. So if I look like a fucking army rat when I get, guys, I look like I'm about to go to fucking war. Yeah. And yeah. And that's all. I ate. Yeah, I got a haircut and I ate. You know, how did it get to this point? But hopefully he's going to have a real rude awakening. Once they start getting things back to standards of operation. Here's some good news right here. Andrea Mitchell is out at MSNBC. Those of you who have been with me for a long time, I've shown Andrea Mitchell. I showed her at Reagan's first
election night, she was reporting to the election desk when Reagan won his first term. That's how long we've been looking at this mess. Also, I talked about her when they were interviewing people turning out to vote against Liz Cheney during her run for her House seat, and she was drunk, in my opinion. And I played her and talked about how long she's been around and how she needs to go. And finally, she's gone. Here we got DJT. This was a 6-minute video or something. No, not yet. I had a lot of videos I didn't upload because I wanted to get up at some reasonable hour. But anyway, this is Pam Bondi with Mr. T.N., Clarence Thomas, being sworn in as Attorney General. Pam was a career prosecutor for nearly 20 years and one of the toughest, smartest, best, and most successful attorney generals in the history of Florida. And I think she is going to end up down as one of the most successful attorney generals this country has ever had. Oh boy, she's already cracking the whip. What am I talking about? Speaking of coming out of the woodwork, Alexander Soriosio reposted something from Chuck Schumer, an unelected shadow government. Chuck Schumer is saying this. Alexander Soros is reposting it. An unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. What a joke. This is what Don Jr. posted after hearing this kind of talk. Donald Trump Jr., I didn't vote for Elon Musk. Cry harder, libs. We didn't vote for this clown either. And yet he controls the Democrat Party. Who is it? Alexander Soriosio. The difference is Trump ran and was elected by the people in a landslide with full transparency that Elon would be doing exactly what he's doing. See the difference? So here's some photos. They even had more below this. It wouldn't all fit on one screen. But there's Alexander. Look at him with Chuck Schumer, Kamala, Obama, Adam Shifty Schiff, Biden. Yeah. Go right on down the line. There's even on the lower tier, there was Pocahontas was in the picture. So they're making idiots of themselves. That's fine with me. Here we got Trump during his press conference. I got a couple of clips from Trump I ought to go ahead and play. But Trump said that he put the word out that if they did anything to him, to just go ahead and obliterate Iran, okay? Now, he softened it up a little bit. He said, I want Iran to be a great and successful country, but one that cannot have a nuclear weapon. Reports that the United States, working in conjunction with Israel, is going to blow Iran's smithereens are greatly exaggerated. I would much prefer a verified nuclear peace agreement which will let Iran peacefully grow and prosper. We should start working on it immediately and have a big Middle East celebration when it is signed and completed. God bless the Middle East. Well, as you all know, Trump announced that the Gaza Strip is uninhabitable and that the U.S. would take the lead in cleaning it up and making it habitable. Let me see if this is the one clip that, there's Bibi Netanyahu. I think he even took Netanyahu by surprise by saying this. And he did say we would own it, but he meant cleaning up the explosives and rehabilitating the land. And, you can have officers there. You can have people in charge of local, whether it's Israeli, Saudi, Egyptian, Jordanian, sappers that go around and defuse bombs, clear out tunnels, all that stuff. But you would have America oversee it. But right away they start talking about, oh, we're going to have a bunch. One of the reporters said, is one Marine's life worth going into Gaza? Just assuming right off the bat that we're going to be sending in combat troops. There's a difference between overseeing cleanup and mop up than actual combat. But they try to twist everything into the most alarmist situation possible. But I'll go ahead and play this clip.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Yeah, they asked Levitt, they asked her, let me see if this is the clip. Can any, how do they word it? Any and all Palestinians return? And she gave a good answer. But I just said, look, you idiot. There are people there that all they live to do is stockpile missiles and tunnels underneath hospitals, people's houses. And the only reason they exist is to destroy people that are Jewish. Okay, so no, not anybody can come back in. But, I wouldn't last long at those press conferences. I call them idiots and everything else. Let me see what this one is. I'm not sure what this clip is, but we'll address it after she's finished. Let me cut my mic off. Here we go.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts of this federal government and ensure it's accountable to American taxpayers. That's all that is happening here, and for Democrat officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming, and they should be held accountable for that.
Oh, they will be. They keep it up. They will be. They will be held accountable. That's was on the topic of the lunatics, the liberal lunatics. And they're all nervous as hell. Look here, Dan Scavino put this up today. Awesome. A portrait of the 40th President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, is now hanging up in the Oval Office. There he is. There he is. And I was going to make a comment about that. That's below the painting is what's called, I would bet dollars to donuts, that's a Remington bronze. If you ever find a bronze statue of a cowboy and a horse or some kind of Western theme, and it's signed Remington and it's real, you got yourself a very valuable piece. But anyway, here's Mitch McConnell falling down. Here he is. He's on his way out. He already said he's retiring. He voted yes on Pam Bondi. Here he is falling down. Looks pretty theatrical to me. Tell me what you think. Tripped on a piece of carpet or something. Anyway, what is this one? I'm not even sure what this... Oh, is this idiot? Oh, yeah. Here we go again. Okay, folks. We're going round 3. Remington wasn't doing bronzes. He passed away. Remington bronzes are from the 60s and 70s, and but anyway, they're all cataloged and numbered. But this is a third. Well, I think if you take AOC seriously, it'd be a fourth. But this is another attempt at impeaching Trump 2.5 weeks into office. What's this guy got to hide? What's his kickback situation? And look how he poses with that cane and points with that gold-tipped cane. How crass and low. But anyway, it's part of history now.
And still I rise, Mr. Speaker. And I rise today, Mr. Speaker, with a to whom it may concern message. To whom it may concern, ethnic cleansing in Gaza is not a joke, especially when it emanates from the President of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, when he has the ability to perfect what he says. Ethnic cleansing in Gaza is no joke, and the Prime Minister of Israel should be ashamed, knowing the history of his people, to stand there and allow such things to be said. Ethnic cleansing has been a crime against humanity. And I stand here today in the well to denounce what was said, to denounce what the president said, to denounce the complicity of the Prime Minister of Israel, and to remind people that Dr. King was right. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And injustice in Gaza is a threat to justice in the United States of America. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. I also rise to say that the impeachment movement is going to be a grass-up movement, not a top-down. The people have got to move forward. The people have to demand it. And when the people demand it, it will be done. I did it before. I laid the foundation for impeachment, and it was done. Nobody knows more about it than I. And I know that it's time for us to lay the foundation again. On some issues, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. On this issue, I stand alone, but I stand for justice. I yield back the balance of my time.
You jerk.
Reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities toward the president.
You jerk. The people of Houston and whatever else his district is, they better wake the hell up, because this guy is talking about ethnic cleansing. His constituents are the ones that get out there and say, from the river to the sea, wanting to wipe out all the Jewish people. They're the ones that holler that crap. So people in his district better wake up. What are they for this men and women's locker rooms? He's for transgender surgeries. He's for a feminized military. I hope whenever he goes up, they go up for election every 2 years. Every 2 years. I hope they run his ass out of office. That's why, and take his gold-tipped cane with him. With the nerve, sit there and shake the cane at the camera and talk that kind of garbage. Speaking of garbage, here's garbage for you. This is Rachel Madcow. They're crying about this FBI questionnaire that went out, okay? 5,000 out of 13, almost 14,000, 38 or 9% of the agents were dealing for 4 years, flipping damn years, putting 1,500 people in jail that didn't do a damn thing but protest and get charged with trespassing for being allowed in the building. Now, there were people that did do things wrong. The other thing, the press does not report. They constantly keep up with the lie that it was blanket pardons. BS. Some were commuted sentences, namely, they've been sitting in jail 4 years. It's enough. And it wasn't blanket pardons. But anyway, let's listen to this garbage.
Documents at his Florida home. There are 2 new lawsuits against the Trump administration from FBI agents tonight. They both stem from this questionnaire, which the Trump administration ordered FBI agents to fill out by yesterday afternoon. The questionnaire asks about any involvement the agents might have had with January 6th investigations or the investigation into Trump hoarding classified documents at his Florida home. The subject line on the email that sent out this questionnaire reportedly had the subject line, quote, termination. A not so implicit suggestion that all personnel who were involved in any of these cases might face termination because of it. Even though there had been a little bit of noise that the Trump-appointed acting officials at the top of the FBI were somehow going to resist this demand to hand over all this information. There was reporting that they were not happy with being asked to do this. Today we learned that the acting officials at the top of the FBI, they did hand over details on thousands of FBI employees who worked on these cases. So one of the 2 lawsuits that's now been filed is from 9 FBI agents. It argues that the specific purpose of that survey, quote, is to identify agents and other FBI personnel to be terminated as a form of politically motivated retribution. That lawsuit asks a federal judge to stop the Trump administration from compiling effectively a target list, a go-get-em list of FBI agents, which they fear
Public by the White House. They point to us.
Look at the language he uses. He says, puts them and their families in immediate danger of retribution by the now pardoned and at-large January 6 convicted felons. Outrageous. But wait till you get a load of this cupcake. And like I said, 1,500 people that didn't break anything, didn't hurt anybody, and their lives ruined. And this guy, he wants to protect the agents that participated in this abuse.
A social media post from the leader of the pro-Trump paramilitary group, the Proud Boys, who was recently pardoned by Trump and released from prison. He's now online urging retaliation against individual FBI agents by name. The second lawsuit is brought by 7 FBI agents and the FBI Agents Association. It also asks the court for protection from the Trump administration's, quote, anticipated retaliatory decision to expose their personal information for opprobrium and potential vigilante action by those who they were investigating. Joining us now is one of the lawyers behind that second lawsuit, Bradley Moss. Mr. Moss, I really appreciate you taking time to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good evening, Rachel.
What kind of relief are you looking for with this lawsuit? What do you want the court to do?
Sure. So at its core, this is a pretty simple, straightforward lawsuit. It's seeking to maintain the privacy and the anonymity of these rank and file FBI officials. These are a number of individuals ranking from, simple tech specialists, forensics examiners, even special agents who did their job. They were tasked with conducting an investigation into possible criminal actions by the former president. They did their investigation. They turned the information over to the DOJ.
Some of them, in my opinion, were part of a criminal conspiracy to deprive American citizens of their rights under the color of law and interfere with an election. But let him tell his story.
Which chose to then bring prosecutions. Now they're being potentially retaliated against. Their names are going to be publicly exposed in a way that's not standard for FBI practice and runs afoul not only of arguably constitutional provisions, but also the Privacy Act, which is federal law, and expose that to the public for one purpose and one purpose only, which is to let the Proud Boys, which is to let all these guys and gals who got prosecuted over the January 6th riots, let them know who these officials were and potentially put them in danger. That cannot stand. That's what this lawsuit is seeking to prevent.
We learned today that the FBI did hand over to the Trump administration, to Trump's Justice Department, this list of thousands of employees who were involved in these cases. As you say, not just special agents, but also FBI personnel and analysts at all different levels of the Bureau. We learned that the names, well, the information about employees was handed over. Specifically, their names were not directly included, although their employee numbers were handed over, which could be matched in government databases to produce their names. I wanted to ask whether that was a disappointing turn of events. Did your clients hope the FBI leadership would somehow stand up more strongly against these requests and actually refuse to hand over this data?
Well, certainly we didn't want them handing over anything, though what I will say for what FBI leadership did was they basically slow-walked this. They're making the Justice Department, they're making the White House do the work to actually match this up, to take these identifiers and match them to names. That's going to take time and is a question, obviously, of how much time and effort both the Justice Department and the White House want to put into finding and matching up all these individuals. Look, if the existing leadership at FBI had simply outright refused, had declined to provide anything, it's arguable they would have been purged, and they would have kept purging people until they found someone, till they found their version of Bork from the 70s to eventually just turn over the information. So what's happened has happened. It's right now. This is still not public information, and we're seeking to make sure it does not become public information.
Attorney Brown.
Well, the answer there is easy enough. Whoever's slowing down the investigation, fire their asses too. Okay? Because if we could spare a third of the force to go on a political persecution, we can sure to hell get rid of a third of the force. We don't need them. They're not doing anything to benefit the public. They're a danger to the public. As a matter of fact, in my opinion. Ha ha ha. But anyway, here's Jesse Waters. Guess what? What's that back there? The C.I.A. What's happening with them, Jesse?
Fox News alert, the Wall Street Journal is reporting the CIA has reportedly just offered a buyout to its entire workforce. Everyone in the agencies telling employees late today they can quit their jobs and receive about 8 months of pay and benefits. It's a part of Trump's push to downsize the federal government. More as we get it.
Yeah, now that U.S. aid is shuttered, you all don't have any money to pass around to your operatives. I got this clip. This is the big guy in the white sneakers. This is a little hard to hear because it was recorded outside. Is a former Capitol police officer confronting a J6 protester that's been pardoned. And this is probably close to a replay of what happened on J6. He's the aggressor. He's the smart aleck. And this guy's behaving nice and calm. But he tells him, basically, have a nice life and keep lying about yourself.
You're damn right I'm upset. Yeah, well, you know what?
Control your
I'm glad you're recording.
Hold on. Let's take a breath.
No, you're a lot more tough now that you not got 10,000 of your thugs are out here with you.
Oh my.
Yeah, you're a lot more tougher now. Pull that same shit that you did on January 6th. Pull that shit now. Pull it now.
Do I have permission to go in again?
What you did to get in? What'd you do to get in?
Asked an officer if I would get arrested, and they said no. I had a blast, took some epic selfies.
Put that on camera.
All right, well, hey, I tell you what, you want to reach out to me on X, I'll share the video with you. Very kind Capitol officer gave me further directions to the statue. Yeah. All right, enjoy lying about yourself. Probably lose some weight, too.
You know you're a loser, right? You know that, right?
Thank you. Well, you stay mad. Thank you for your taxpayer money, too. I appreciate it.
You're a loser.
Reparations, thank you.
You're a loser.
All right.
He's calling him out. He's saying, you want to see the video I got on X with you inviting people in? So let me see. I got to go into. I think I have another video I want to show you guys. What's going on in Paris? I mean, I don't want to act like the world's falling apart, but it kind of is. Some of these other countries have got to get a handle on what's going on with this immigration thing. And thank God we've gone as far as we have. Hopefully it'll continue. Let me see. I want to find. I might have it in. I don't know. Let me see. I'm not sure what this one is, but I'll play it anyway. It's got a black screen. I don't know. This might be Trump talk. I don't know. It's anybody's guess. I hate the ones that start off like this. But anyway, let's see what it is.
You want to do this? Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? Are you ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature, because this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? I see that. Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here. Take a pen. I'll give some of these out, okay? Take a pen. Take a pen.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that poor little girl with red hair and glasses. She didn't get a pen, daggone it. But anyway, I think they all had a great time. They all had fun. That's the main thing. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Yeah. Hi, Miss Mindersue. How you doing? Yeah, he uses a big pens, doesn't he? So, yeah, and he's acting like, he's acting like very, I don't want to use the term grandfatherly, but he's like a nice uncle to these kids. He's level-headed. Have you noticed during his press conferences, he's very calm and sedate and answers with a little bit of humor and in a relaxed state. But I tell you, the stuff that's getting ready to erupt with this lawsuit on the video that I just showed you with Rachel Maddow, we're going to see what some of these judges try to do, how they try to get in the way of the executive branch. And if they are participating in a cover-up of criminal activity, boy, Katie, bar the door. And we can't destroy our judiciary. We have to try to preserve it. Even if there are people out there who would sully the bench, we've got to try to preserve it. And that's why it gives like Engoron and Mercan every opportunity in the book to do the right thing. But there'll be a breaking point at some point. Here's Diamond Silk. What they have to say. Biden administration improperly paid $236 billion to federal programs in 2023. President Donald Trump's drive to overhaul the government spending through DOGE was fueled by the $236 billion in illegal payments made by the Biden administration across 71 federal agencies in 2023. What about 2024? How many of those were illegal? Let's see what this is. Jack Posobiec, what he put up. Politico, New York Times, propped up by millions of dollars from the U.S. government. Here we are, Politico. There's Politico. Those of you who have been with me are my witness. I showed some X posts and I said that I ghost around on X. I don't make a big deal about posting on X. And I said I follow very few people on X. But I do follow Politico. And I said it was because I have found that they're one of the first ones to put up the new narrative that everybody else in the Mockingbird media picks up. Do you all remember me saying that and showing from posts from Politico and wondering why are they so prominent on X when nobody clicks on them? Why are they so high in the feed? Now we know why. Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo, dozens of former intel office officials say. And it shows right next to that USAID money, Politico LLC, $8.1 million. They're all getting paid off. And people are finding out that it's not just the New York Times, Politico. We're going to find out that it's a lot of cable programs. But guess who else gets money from USAID? USAIDs. Well, I'll tell you. Here's a lady telling us about the BBC. So it's international bribes to news organizations to all keep a narrative so that we'll all wear masks, so we'll all stay home, so we'll all put our ballots in an envelope, okay, and not question anything, destroy economies to run Trump out of office. But she'll explain it.
You know the BBC, right? The British Broadcasting Corporation. One of the most interesting things about it is that its funding is very global. So to be specific, the BBC actually has a charity associated with it called BBC Media Action. It's registered in England and Wales, and it receives funding from USAID, although I'm not sure how much longer that'll be for, Canada, Switzerland, Sweden, and as well as the United Nations and Bill and Melinda Gates. Now, I don't think most Brits have ever heard of this organisation, but they are paying $57 million in taxpayer money. That's between 2020 and 24 for BBC Media Action. And that's even before we get to Americans, Canadians, the Swiss and Swedish, about what they think about being entered into this alignment, this global BBC Media Action Programme. And when you look at its report for 2023 to 24, you'll see a list of all of its projects it's done all around the world. And the BBC seems to think that there are some countries that just basically couldn't even have a functioning media if it weren't for the BBC paying them a visit and training them in the ways of mis and disinformation. In fact, disinformation and misinformation is a huge part of the report. It's quite comical in places because they're going to parts of the world that are historically not that safe and training fact checkers and making sure that information is is not falling into the disinformation, misinformation category. And this ties into the United Nations. The United Nations are incredibly obsessed with mis and disinformation. They never decide which one it is, incidentally. But the UN is obsessed with this. They've got a verified initiative. Coincidentally, the BBC also has BBC Verified. So there is an alignment there, and it's as if the UN directives are coming through this body, this BBC body. So it does really matter. Some people are trying to downplay on Twitter, say, this isn't the real BBC, this has nothing to do with the licence fee. It says BBC in the title, and it's under the umbrella of the organisation. And it shows how the BBC sees itself as this part of this wider agenda, which ties us into the United States, which is so important that the US is aware of how US aid is going into this, as well as other countries being aware too. And just to add at the end that this is not the end of US funding coming into the UK, and there's reciprocal interference. You know, we know that Labour sent 100 activists to help Kamala Harris win the election. Obviously that did not work out. But they were trying to arrange a global alliance. That's what was happening underneath the surface. So it's fantastic that the US is now finding out about US aid and how that was being used for this kind of this strange global agenda, including the United Nations. But there's more work to be done, because there are other links that the US would really help Britain with by pulling out. And I've covered some of it on my blog. There's examples of the US Embassy in London funding a youth democracy charity that helped, in my opinion, it helped Sadiq Khan win. You know, it helped further this global alliance. But I'll leave it there for now. But it's great news that the US has found out that this US aid is going into the UK, and many a Brit will be deeply appreciative if you pull it out.
So she talks about how it's all tied in to the Green New Deal, the Bill Gates Foundation, transgenderism, CVID, vaccines, a global narrative about all the crap we've been through. And it's all funneled through U.S. aid. So, yeah, very interesting. Here's a longer clip from, I don't know if I played this one yet or not. Not yet. This is from the press conference today. Let me see what subject they're talking about.
And one more thing before I wrap up, because I do want to get to these meetings, and I will see you all at the EO signing later this afternoon. I would just say that you brought to mind California and North Carolina, who continue to be on our hearts, and the president and this administration are committed to ensuring that these individuals get the funding that they need. And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first. And I think the successes of this week so far speak to that. And it's only Wednesday. So I'll see you guys later this week, and we'll see you this afternoon. Thank you very much.
She said, and it's only Wednesday. But she brings up after the press conference all the garbage and the crooked crap that the press didn't even want to bring up. And that guy asking her, are you going to let any and all Palestinians back in the Gaza Strip? He didn't ask one damn question about the people of Pacific Palisades, who we just heard are going to have their property confiscated. okay, who have nothing, thousands of homes and businesses, tens of thousands of acres. The people of Maui, nothing about the people in North Carolina. All they're worried about is letting any and all Palestinians back in. Even the psychos that have been stirring up conflict for the past 40 years. That Soleimani character that Trump had taken out. He was involved in the bombing of the Marine base in Lebanon that killed 240 Marines. That's how far back these creeps go. Anyway, I'm not sure if this is where Trump says he wants to find the kickbacks or not. Let me play it. But if it is, he says it's corrupt. And Pam Bondi is going to go after him, and so is Kash Patel.
Well, many ideas, but look, he's done a great job. Look at all the fraud that he's found in this U.S. AID. It's a disaster what the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what, with money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money, with the money. I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money to some of the things that you read about and I read about and I see every night on the news and every morning when I read the papers? Who would spend money for that? I would say this, the people that got all that money, are they kicking it back to the people that gave it from government? No, that's, to me, very, very corrupt. The real question is, how much of a kickback has there been? And one of the things I want to...
Yeah, how much of a kickback and who did it go to? We're going to find out. And this is going to pique people's curiosity. Pique their curiosity. Here's another video that's dark. I don't know what this is. Let's see what it is. I don't know. There was a lot of different subjects going on. Let me see what... cut my mic off and play it.
Did Elon Musk want to take control of the payment system? That's the $64 trillion question. And we know why, because he made clear he wants to cut $2 trillion from our budget. Now, there's not $2 trillion.
Now, here he's going to lie and say that Elon Musk is going to take people's Social Security and Medicaid. He's just a flat-out liar. This is that senator, I think he's from New York. I'm not, there he is, Dave Min, California, 47th District. Well, they got to vote his rear end out, too. He's a representative. I thought he was a senator. I've never heard of him. But at the end of this, I think that's Maxine standing next to him. Listen to her trying to get along with the chant at the end. Is funny as hell.
To cut unless you massively cut Social Security and Medicare, and that is what he's after. And now he has the ability to shut off your Social Security and Medicare any payments he wants with the flip of a switch. Obviously, he has control of our information as well. He has broken the law time and time again. This cannot stand. He must be held accountable. He must be made to pay. We must enforce the law.
They're trying to chant lock him up to Elon Musk. Boy, all right, we'll see what happens, folks. We'll see who gets locked up in this big old world. Speaking of locking people up, here's Tom Homan. Here's Tom Homan. They're trying his patience, and he doesn't have to do this. And he is one of Trump's favorites, okay? And they're aggravating him. And if there's any way to please Tom Homan, Trump is going to go out of his way to do it.
Let me read a headline to you. Chicago leaders encourage residents to exercise their rights in resisting Trump's deportation policies. The governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, basically admitted that he knew somebody that didn't have full documentation, that he was hiding over his garage.
But there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
Your comment on all of that?
I think the governor's pretty foolish saying what he said, because I got note of it. Won't let it go. We'll look into it. And if he's knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien, that's a violation of Title 8 United States Code 1324. I would seek prosecution, or the secretary would seek prosecution. So maybe he's bluffing. If he's not, we'll deal with that. And as far as suing sanctuary cities, well, get in line, because the Trump administration is going to do that already. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. There's one example, right? If the young sanctuary cities in New York City, if they would have gave us over the killer of Laken Riley, when he got arrested in New York City for endangering a child, he would have been in jail. And he would never killed Laken Riley. Sanctuary cities are responsible for deaths of thousands of young children throughout my career. And we're going to sue them. We're going to hold them. And look, if he's got to go to the Supreme Court, that's what President Trump wanted to do. He will end sanctuary cities.
You know, there was a 2011 government accountability
study found 3 million criminal.
They're talking about the victims of sanctuary cities, thousands of them. You talk about 1,500 people that are victims of the FBI. You talk about all the athletes, like the one Trump was talking about, that got injured by men and women's sports. Okay, you got 7 FBI agents doing a class action lawsuit and 5 doing another class action lawsuit. You want to talk about class action lawsuits? Wait till you get to thousands of people that have had their rights violated, thousands of people who have lost loved ones that do their own class action lawsuit because of malfeasance. And these people lose their sovereign immunity because of malfeasance. They're going to be personally liable, but so will the people who let the stuff happen. Like, this is Paris right here. I think that, yeah, here's somebody playing some. They put this video up and said something like "Gay Paris" or something like that. How things are going in Paris. Let me show you what we're getting ready to turn into. Clash, a culture clash. Here is 2 German women tourists that booked what they thought was a high-end hotel in Paris, and they're speaking German, but there's subtitles. They were planning on going to a beautiful hotel in Paris.
Ach du Scheiße! Ach, da hinten ist das. Jenny! Ich bin geschockt! Wir können das noch umbuchen! Also ich habe da jetzt irgendwie auch keine Worte. Jenny! Was hast du hier gebucht? Ich habe auch keine Worte. Fahr hier
Yeah, it's scheisse. Yeah. There ain't much going on there. It's scheisse. So good luck to them. That's what you call a culture clash. I saw this. I didn't play the video because it's only a 1 minute, 2 minute, less than 2 minutes long. But Secret Service jumped on some person, I guess a guy, maybe it was a guy or identifies as a guy, I don't know. Secret Service swarmed black-clad man who tried climbing over the White House fence. So there's lunatics out there. That's what I worry about the most. Here we go. USAID on Friday, February 7th at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. All USAID direct hire personnel will be placed on administrative leave globally, with the exception of designated personnel responsible for mission-critical functions. So their money is paid already through the first quarter, through April. So their claims of little kids not getting medicine and people starving and is all a bunch of crap. Okay, plus they keep mission critical functions going, core to leadership and specially designated programs. Essential personnel expected to continue working will be informed by agency leadership Thursday, which is tomorrow, February 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's not a willy-nilly situation like they're portraying it. Here's from Eastern News Services. The German government is ready to consider the idea of deploying NATO troops in Greenland amid U.S. President Donald Trump's interest in the island, Spiegel reported. Good luck with that, German government. Give it a try. Let's see what happens. You want to be made a mockery of. The U.S. State Department plans to return all USAID employees from overseas assignments to the United States by February 8th. Their family members will also return. We are talking about thousands of people, ABC News reports, citing a source. Netanyahu. Hi, Hebrew Hammer. How you doing? Netanyahu gave Trump a pager in memory of Israel's operation against the Lebanese Hezbollah movement. The U.S. president responded by saying it was a grand operation, the Israeli Prime Minister office reported. You don't hear anybody in the news talking about that. They want to forget that pager setup. We should send pagers out to the news services. Iran Foreign Ministry responded to Trump's remarks about possible planning to assassinate American officials. We are not trying to kill American officials. The charges are fabricated. Oh, okay, I feel better. I trust the mullahs, don't you? Elon Musk. Renamed his page. They're reporting this out of Russia. You see the Russian up there in the right-hand corner? White House tech support. Elon Musk has changed his X profile description to say he is White House tech support. Let us recall that Musk heads the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. What's this? What's this? Greenland calls general election for 11th of March amid Trump interest. Prime Minister Moot Igad says country is in the midst of serious time as Parliament unanimously backs proposal. Greenland has called a snap general election. All 48,000 of them, or how many is it? If it was Democrat run, it would take 3 months to count the votes. But anyway, Greenland has called a snap general election for March 11th amid Trump's claims of an intention to take over the island. The Guardian reports. Another one, I guarantee you, The Guardian has been getting money from USAID. The proposal was made by the island's prime minister and supported by Parliament. We are going through a serious period, a period we have never experienced before in our country. Now is not the time for internal divisions, said the prime minister. I can't say his name. The Guardian writes that the upcoming election campaign will focus on Greenland's desire for independence, the island's economic development, and relations with Denmark and the United States. Okay, let's keep that up. I saw television shows said something about tomorrow is Trump's 17th day. So we'll see what happens tomorrow on the 17th day. But we also know that March 11th is going to be this big vote by the people of Greenland. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. What's this? What is this? Oh, here she is. Hillary. Hillary, they have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car. And you're going to let them mess with airline safety that's already deteriorated on your watch? She's saying the wrecks and the almost wrecks or whatever are already Trump's fault. Already Trump's fault, even though he didn't change a damn thing in the agency except get rid of this woke crap. Big news. Talk to the Doge team. They are going to plug in to help upgrade our aviation system. She's saying that Trump has made it worse. What a hag. But anyway, Secretary Sean Duffy, the one who replaced Booty Butt, whatever his name is. Madam Secretary, with all due respect, experienced Washington bureaucrats are the reason our nation's infrastructure is crumbling. You need to sit this one out. Yeah, like I said, we're starting to hear from people who have been laying low. Here's something else she put up on some kind of creepy site she's got. Boy, wait till they decode this site. But anyway, Hillary Clinton. Elon Musk is mounting a blitzkrieg-style administrative coup of the U.S. government, accessing and editing critical systems. That's a lie. That manage everything from Social Security, private taxpayer information. Flat out lies. Join at Indivisible Team in D.C. today to demand a stop to it. Well, your indivisible team is going to be decimated by the time this stuff is over, and the likes of you are going to be out of D.C. No more Magic Kingdom for you. Diamond Silk, another win. AG Pam Bondi orders pause on funding for sanctuary cities. Newly sworn in AG Pam Bondi wasted no time in taking action, ordering an immediate pause on all federal funding for sanctuary cities. The directive issued Wednesday is part of our crackdown. Yeah, damn right it is. Plus, she's authorizing prosecution of creepos that get in the way. So, I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up. I mentioned it earlier in the video, but I forget to mention that sometimes. I also have a link for Buy Me a Coffee in the description. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so I am viewer-supported only. And I want to thank Mike and Bev for stopping in yesterday and helping out. People that helped out this week include Norm, Hilarious 2, Holofix, also known as Yen, Lone Wolf, and Hebrew Hammer. This is the first week of the month, and I appreciate your all support. But anyway, here we have, I'm sure you all heard about this agreement with El Salvador and other countries that agree to take in criminals of any nationality, including U.S. convicts. This will be their new home. What in the world? That's right. That's right. He has a mega prison of 60-some thousand. I showed you a report where he had 40% of the male population they had to round up to lower a horrendous murder rate. And many of them are coming around and I guess being raised. They never had a chance to be raised. And so he's got room in his Supermax, and they'll charge us a nominal fee. And if we get overloaded, we can send them to Bukele, right? What's this? New York Post. USAID staffers told to stay out of D.C. headquarters after Musk and Trump agreed to shut it down. Just a ball of worms. I put that up because I always kept saying they were like worms in a clump of dirt. Elon said, ball of worms. That's funny. Here is the picture of the... what happened to my screen? Wait a minute. What happened? Hold on, I hit something. Hit a button. Here we go. Here is the Supermax. I played a video of that before. Breaking: El Salvador and the United States have agreed upon a plan. Hold some of America's worst criminals. I said before that jails were nothing but headquarters for gangs, okay? They use it like office space. So they send the worst of them down there to CCOT, the least fun prison in the world. Let's see how the thugs of Chicago, Atlanta, New York, L.A., etc. enjoy the vacation there. That's a good way to bust them gangs up. Take their leadership right out. This USAID thing, it's going to go deep. Revolver reports. Turns out the deep state used U.S. aid to oust Bolsonaro from Brazil. To oust Bolsonaro from Brazil. You remember when Marco Rubio went down to Panama? I think he took with him some pictures of Manuel Noriega. Many of you are of the age to remember Manuel Noriega, also known as Pineapple Head, and he died in an American prison, and he was removed from power in Panama. So I think Marco Rubio just took a picture down there and said, hey, remember this guy? You better do what we tell you to do about this canal. Well, these clowns in Brazil, if they were involved in an international criminal conspiracy to oust Bolsonaro, oust Trump, you all know, I don't need to go down the line, that is going to pave the way, I believe, for a special military police action to remove some of these so-called heads of state. And every American will understand why. What's this? Wall Street apes. Illegals are buying property in the United States and renting back to Americans. ICE came and picked up my landlord. His daughter sent me a text message like, hey, hon, I'm calling to let you know that ICE came to pick my dad up. No warrant, no nothing. She said that his illegal migrant had a work permit, but that's questionable. ICE would not have taken him if he had the proper papers. The only reason ICE would detain and deport someone with a work permit is if they violated immigration laws. So potentially he's a criminal. Why are these non-citizens allowed to buy properties in America and rent it back to us, especially with the home ownership crisis in the country? Current U.S. laws do not prevent undocumented immigrants from purchasing or owning property. This has to change. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And a little something to remember. The same people terrified of DOGE wanted to hire 80,000 additional IRS agents to audit you. Yeah. So, there's no doubt things are falling apart for the Democrat Party. The optics of Trump today and throughout the week, strength, sanity, confidence. What are the Democrats offering? Stirring up crap in the streets. U.S. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. has accused USAID of overthrowing Yanukovych. That is the president of Ukraine prior to the bozo that's in there now. At the same time, he called USAID a CIA cover. This is Kennedy. USAID, which is a front for the CIA, put $5 billion into funding these riots. Euromaidan, okay? These riots led to a coup d'etat against the democratically elected government of Ukraine. This was a government that refused to choose a side and say what we will be on the side of the West. So we wanted to take them out, Kennedy told journalist Tucker Carlson. So we got Bolsonaro was taken out. The president of Ukraine was taken out. And the media is not reporting on it. Russian media is. That's why they banned it. A moment of independence, quote, Ukraine is ready to discuss holding elections before the end of 2025 if this issue is initiated by the new U.S. administration. Yeah, because Putin said he wasn't talking to nobody since from Ukraine because they were illegitimate. So now they want to hold an election. The Israeli foreign minister called the new Syrian authorities, quote, polite jihadists. I just thought I'd add that one in there. Here, what's this? The Speaker of Georgian Parliament stated that the American U.S. aid invested $41.7 million in the elections that were recently held in Georgia. Remember, I've talked about Georgia a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. They passed a law that they have to disclose all foreign influenced media. They passed a law banning alphabet stuff from schools. They had an election. The C.I.A. tried to interfere. And they lost, and they tried to finance protests in the streets, all this kind of crap. And now we're finding out that USAID pumped $41.7 million to try to put in a wokey-doke commie government. So Bolsonaro's Zelensky being installed, Bolsonaro's being removed, Georgia elections being interfered with. all by U.S. aid. And it's all being exposed. Posobiec put this up. State audit finds massive unnecessary spending under former University of Florida President Ben Sasse. Private jets, lavish parties, high-paid staff, and $1 million salary. What do you think of that? There, there's so much. How can people keep up with all? There's going to be so much corruption coming out. A lefty wrote this. It blows my mind that people hate Trump so bad they can't even look that he's literally gotten 200 or 20,000 horrible people out of our country, and they're sad about it. That's from a liberal. So we're making some kind of headway. Oh, this is a good one, folks. You'll love this one. You'll love this one. Diamond Silk. Stacey Abrams' voting rights group forced into mass layoffs after record-breaking fine. Remember, they got fined a whole bunch of, I forget how much, it was a lot of money. Fair Fight Action. The voting rights group founded by Stacey Abrams is facing serious financial difficulties after being hit with a record-breaking fine, an outcome that has led to mass layoffs. Well, wait a minute. I want to know, what was Stacey Abrams doing in Niger? Remember that? She was supposedly an election advisor in an African country. Who paid for her to go there? Was she involved with USAID? Wait a minute. What was Bass Ackwards, Karen Bass Ackwards from California, doing over in, where was she, Guyana or something like that? Who paid for her dumb rear end be over there? Was that USAID too? What business does she have over there? Oh, wait a minute. What about this president of the Teachers Association? Remember? What was she doing going to Ukraine? What did she have any business going over to Ukraine? And that's just three I can just mention off the top of my head. I don't have any notes. I just remember that these weirdos are going globetrotting on our dime. Why? And what a wonderful media we have that doesn't want to ask that question, tries to incite people and sit there and agitate for a bunch of lunatics to get back into Gaza to continue to try to start World War III by agitating Israel. I like this one right here. Cat Turd put this up. This picture should have told the left how this 4 years is going to go for them. Right there. You got that right. That should tell you everything you need to know. I hope they put it in every lefty office, that they're made to hang that picture up. These Social Security offices that are full of bleeding heart liberals, that if you're an American, get the hell out of here. We're going to give money to these people who wiggled over the border from Senegal before we give it to a veteran or American citizen. Make them hang the picture up and then fire their asses. Lives of TikTok put this up. This guy is calling for Doge employees to lose their lives. This clown, Jared. The men carrying out Moscow he puts their names out. I'm not going to say their names, but he's doxing them and putting up their wanted for treason, dead or alive. So he's put up 5 of them. I don't get that. Anyone else want a chicken nugget? But anyway, yeah, I hope he gets a visit from the FBI. I'm sure he has. We're not putting up with this crap. Concerned citizen. I found U.S. aid has been given money to support the World Economic Forum. Why is the American taxpayer funding the World Economic Forum when everyone that arrives there lands in a private jet? Yeah, they can fund themselves. And, it's all these non-government organizations, NGOs, the system that was started by Georgie Porgy and then kept going because of his son. Donald Trump put this up. Any parent would be concerned about this. 20 years ago, autism in children was 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 34. 1 in 34 from 1 in 10,000. Wow, something is really wrong. We need Bobby. Thank you, DJT. I'm just looking through the chats real quick. Oh, what is a ball game? Yeah, the EU's falling apart. Kennedy, he started the Peace Corps. He started the Peace Corps, and then they whacked him, and they started U.S. aid. Or Kennedy had a lot of bold ideas, and they put a stop to that. That's for sure. Ha ha ha. I'm just checking. All right, if I let's see. What else do we have? What else do we have to show? Oh, that's the one I've already put up. Let me see. I've got. Let me see if I've got. Yeah, I played that. Oh, right. I hate it when I got a good clip and I get to hit the button on it, but or go over it. But it looks like I've got an interview here. Let's see. This is not a long clip. Bondi to be unbelievably fair. That is what this gentleman says, talking to Harris Faulkner. Let me play it and I'll tell you what my opinion on unbelievably fair means.
What a great day. What a great day for our country and for the people of our country. Our Department of Justice has been weaponized. We've all seen that. Even the Democrats know that. Pam Bondi will bring trust back to our Department of Justice, our justice system. People will believe in it again. For the last 3 or 4 years, nobody's believed what has been going on has been fair and just. So now we've got somebody that's going to do it and do it the right way, where people can again believe in the criminal justice system of our country.
How to bring trust back in the justice system, how to be unbelievably fair, is the saying that mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. That, if they go by that principle and they enforce the law and they bring people to account for their lawlessness, that's the only thing that's going to bring back trust. That's the only thing that's going to bring back trust, is by calling the lawless to account. Now, after Pam Bondi got approved, this was filmed outside of the White House in the evening hours. And among the many things that this pandemic did to our culture and our country is they made it okay to walk around with rags wrapped around your face, okay, like a radical, all right? And that's what you're seeing here. And I'm going to close out the broadcast by playing this for you. Listen to what they're chanting. Trump is going to learn. Some of the words that they're chanting, this is supposedly outside the White House, according to Laura Loomer. I think any naturalized citizen that's out there behaving in a menacing way, waving another country's flag, should be stripped of their citizenship and deported. I think anybody here on a student visa, work visa, or anything like that, participating in this kind of crap outside of our White House on our soil should be deported. And of course, anybody that doesn't have their documentation, which many of these people have. But I'm going to close out this broadcast. I'm going to play this for you. I hope you enjoy it while on the way out. I want to thank you for spending your precious time with me, and anybody that's helped with buy me a coffee in the description. And if you're not able to do that, a thumbs up is much appreciated, or a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. But just remember, as you watch this protest was brought to you by Pfizer and more than likely U.S. aid. Okay? So you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.